Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to Rob's Hot Mic. I would be Rob. And this week's movie news, views, and reviews. First up, a couple of this week's noteworthy items. I've called him this already, and it bears repeating. Dan Murrell, I think it's Murrell, but I don't know. Anyway, Mr. Murrell is the most reasonable person in the whole YouTube film beat game. I might have thrown down a couple of hot takes last week about the Scarlett Johansson lawsuit against Disney for back end. He went a step further. He actually, one of his patrons on Patreon is a lawyer, and the lawyer kind of chimed in on it and why he thinks it's not a slam dunk for Scarlett Johansson, but that she's got a solid case. So the link to that piece will be down in the description. What else, my friends? Let me grab my agenda again here. Yes. Okay. Next would be Hollywood unions and police organizations. Let's pull this one up. This is kind of funny. Apparently, there's been a movement within certain Hollywood unions. It started early in 2020 before COVID-19 really picked up with the Writers Guild of America reaching out to the AFL-CIO, kind of an umbrella trade union organization, to say we should get rid of all these police unions. They should no longer be part of the AFL-CIO. Further, there is a movement within those unions to get out of the business of employing policemen on their side hustle. Now, I'm not 100% sure. It sounds like it works in LA, much like it does here in Winnipeg. If you want to do traffic control, you have to hire an off-duty cop. Here in Winnipeg, it's north of $100 an hour. And even more if you want the guy to have a car. The issue here is that there's a lot of other industries that can just train their people to be flag people. So construction, for instance, and they don't necessarily have to hire cops. So there is a movement within IATSE, International Alliance of Theatrical and Stage Employees, and some of the DGA, I think, and a couple of the other American unions in LA to get out of this. But of course, they have to lobby their city council, otherwise, because it's really a municipal requirement that they hire off-duty police officers. Here in Manitoba, it's a provincial requirement that they hire off-duty police officers, which I've always thought was a bit of a hustle. Why should there be legislation making sure that these guys got a good side gig as overtime that contributes to their pension, no less, which is a public liability? Anyway, it's all just... you know what? So for those folks who are working on that, good on them. Keep it up. All right. What else? We've got one more item, I think, or maybe two more items before we get into the meat of the show. Oh, yes. Are the Golden Globes back? Spoiler alert. Of course they are. Now, it's important to note that this story doesn't, in Hollywood Reporter, doesn't say, yes, 100%, they're going to be back. But there's a whole bunch of quotes in it. For example, where are we here? NBC responded, NBC being the key player here. NBC responded to the reforms in a statement on Thursday. We're encouraged by the passage of the amended bylaws. This marks a positive step forward and signals the Hollywood Foreign Press Association's willingness to do the work necessary for meaningful change. Now, my understanding from this piece, and I'm going to, here, let me get myself back on the screen. My understanding from this piece is it kind of boils down into three areas. First of all, they're going to bump up the size of their membership, focusing on Black African Americans. They're also going to take away the LA based restriction on membership. So you no longer you still have to reside in the United States, work for a foreign publication beyond print media. So they're loosening that up, and they're getting out of this, oh, you got to live in LA, you got to be. And I think one of the biggest things they're getting rid of is the whole idea of sponsorship. I guess before, well, like any private club, is there a member who will sponsor your membership? Anyway, so I'm going to go back because I've never thought, oh, this is the death of the Hollywood Foreign Press Association. I figured, you know what, you lay down a big enough stick and say we're going to use it, which is really their broadcast, which gives them all that dough. They're going to do something about it, and they're doing something about it. So I am willing. I think the odds of a Golden Globes in 2022 moved way up. If I were forced to give it a percentage, yeah, I think at least even odds, maybe better. You know what? I'm going to say at least a 60% chance that there'll be a Golden Globes awards. There'll be the Golden Globes on television. Of course, they'll hand out the awards, but it'll be on NBC next year. That 60%. What is that? 3-2, I think. Anyway, last but certainly not least, let me again pop up my little agenda. Oh, yeah. This is very much a local thing here in Manitoba. So our theaters in Winnipeg have been open for a few weeks now. The requirement was you had to prove that you were fully vaccinated. I loved it. I've been to a few movies now, and I liked being able to show my proof of vaccination. And I also think it's a killer incentive. There's still 1 in 5 Manitobans who haven't even gotten a first vaccination, never mind their second. And if we're going to be in herd immunity territory, which from my understanding is well north of 90% vaccination, anything the government can use to incentivize full vaccination, I think is a good thing. Of course, we can now kiss that goodbye because, of course, our Tory government is like, oh, it's good enough now. Like they've always done, and like it's always blown up in their face. So I only expect the same. But hey, for a few weeks and right up to this Saturday, so I'm going to go see a movie probably tomorrow night, maybe even tomorrow afternoon, go for a twofer. It'll be safe. And then after that, I'll just, I don't know, figure something else out. Anyway, that's enough for now. Let's get into the meat of the show. I've been in your